Welcome to the Cybos Daily Update. I'm here with Michael Gedigk, who is Managing Director for Domestic Custody Services, Global Client Management and Origination at Deutsche Bank. Michael, what for you has been the big issue for Cybos this year?
Well, obviously we are still a little bit on the impact of what happened last year with the whole financial crisis, and there's been a huge amount of activity going on in the last 12 months. Network managers were very busy talking to their clients, talking about the sub-custodial arrangements they have. A lot more due diligence overall, I think, went into the whole selection process and things like that. So everybody was extremely busy, and what we're doing kind of at this Cybos here is taking into account what we've done over the last 12 months and to see where we're going to take that maybe going forward. So it's last year, I mean, if you wanted to talk a little bit about a difference between one or the other Cybos, is last Cybos we were talking about a lot of big deals, a lot of big transactions. Now, these have not gone away, but there is a more subtle undercurrent here to say, like, okay, well, we're going to have to really very carefully move forward and do some of those things that we've talked about and that we potentially could do.
And how do you think the market dynamic has changed since last year, and how do you think that will then go on to change in the future?
Well, the dynamics have changed in the sense that we used to spend predominantly just talk about the immediate services, the various aspects of the service, and the fees, cost. We have now a whole new set of criteria, not that it didn't exist at all before, but has become a lot more pertinent and important, is the whole risk aspect. So how can I really protect my assets? Where are my assets actually at any given time in the whole settlement chain and so forth? So that has been looked at a lot more closer than ever before, I would think. So that's the different dynamic there.
And in terms of the event itself, Cybos itself, do you feel that it's smaller this year, more subdued? Do you think it's the credit crunch Cybos?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are here in Hong Kong. I believe Cybos has an attendance of around about 5,000, I think a little bit above 5,000. Vienna were well over 8,000. Now in Europe, the event tends to be bigger. I think the spread between having Cybos in Asia and versus Europe has gotten a little bit bigger. I think otherwise it would probably be bigger. There are a number of clients who have sent considerably less people. There are some institutions that always used to have a booth and they don't have one today with this Cybos. There are, we all know, a number of entertainment events that have been dropped from the agenda as well. So yeah, I think, and everybody is very careful to be careful how they're being perceived. So big spending time. I mean, I think we've been in the transaction bill. We are in the transaction business, so we've never been huge spenders of any type of sort. But I think it's gotten even stronger in that direction now that we're very careful to see how are we being perceived by the outside world as being big spenders versus being very prudent about it.
And there's a lot of talk now about, Ben Bernanke said perhaps the recession is over in the US today. How do you agree with that, and how do you see the next 12 months playing out for your business?
I'm not sure. I'm not an economist, so I'm not a specialist in this. I wouldn't know that. There seem to be a number of very positive signs that do speak for a recession potentially being over. On the other hand, a lot of the fundamentals are still not there. I think there is still a little bit of a credit crunch out there. I think the whole global trade overall is not quite come back. Unemployment, well, the numbers of people that lose their job on a monthly basis has clearly slowed down, but that doesn't help all the millions of people that have lost their job and are trying to get back into the workforce. So I think there's a lot of fundamentals that need to happen. And if I look at the elements that in the custody business drive the revenues, couple of quite important things are obviously the asset values. Now stock markets have rebounded considerably. I am just wondering how sustainable that is. And the other thing that has not rebounded is the interest earnings, the interest rates. And there I am very reluctant to believe that we're going to have a significant change in the next 12 to 18 months.
Great, thank you. And just to wrap up, what do you think is the single biggest lesson that bankers have learned across the industry in the last 12 months and as a result of the financial crisis?
Well, that we we've done a lot of the right things all along, due diligence, careful selection of providers and entities. The lesson is that we cannot be careful enough, and that we probably need to really, even as careful as we were, probably do more of that due diligence than we've done ever before.
Great. Mark Gedigk, thank you very much.